December the 3rd, and I'm at work. And that sound you hear in the background is our copy machine copying exams for my 8 a.m. class. My intention of going to bed early last night meant that I woke up at about 12:30 and was awake until about 4. And then overslept my alarm at 5, and so got to work a little bit later than I meant to, but I've still got my exams done. I've just got to get them copied before class, so that should be fine. I don't know that today will be very exciting because I'm working today, which is exciting because you get to teach people stuff, but as far as vlogging, it's not conducive to an exciting vlog. But anyway, so we'll just kind of see how today plays out. So it's Vlogmas Day 3. Well, I got my exams copied and my lab copied and my angler fish for my last vlog for my 2 Hearts crochet along is copied. So I guess that was a fairly productive morning. And then I picked up this magazine. I have to read this article more carefully. The title article is called Domesticating Physics, which initially made me go, what? But then what it was is it was how Snapshot of Physics Education for Women illustrates how housework was used to draw women into physics courses and how science was used to sell home appliances. So I'm curious to read this now to see what it has to say. So yeah, like the circuit breaker, woman flipping the circuit breaker, and household physics class, so I guess temperature and food safety and stuff. So I guess we'll see. I haven't read it yet, so I will report back. Actually be very unhealthy because they're both charged and they're really big. So if they hit healthy tissue, it's like being hit by a cannonball, right? But the nice thing about the fact that they're so big and they're charged is you can basically block an alpha particle with your test paper. So see, there's another use for your test paper. It blocks alpha particles from you being bombarded by alpha particles because it takes very little to stop one. Now, a beta particle takes a little more. A beta particle is also charged, but it is smaller. So in that case, it takes a greater thickness, a little bit of concrete, or a narrow thickness of lead, or wood, or some, just enough of a distance that the beta particle will have a chance to interact with the atoms in that thing instead of with you and be absorbed. In the case of the treatment machine that we were talking about, when I was talking to my friends on the virtual knitting group, those are x-rays. So a piece of paper is not going to stop an x-ray. A piece of wood is not going to stop an x-ray. But you know that when you go get an x-ray, usually the person giving the x-ray will either leave the room or they'll wear a lead apron, basically. But in that case of the treatment machine, what they do is the field of that treatment machine, we'll go back to our piece of paper. Let's say the field of the treatment machine is this big, so that x-rays would come out of this whole thing. But what they do is they literally cut what we call blocks out of lead. They would take your x-ray, they would trace out where the tumor is, they would mark off everywhere they don't want treated, and they make lead blocks, which we will simulate with this wood block that happened to be laying here on the table by chance. And they attach that to that slide, and that's your mask. That's your mask. So when you come in for your treatment, that goes into the machine and it blocks out the x-rays from the healthy tissue. That's why very often when people go in for treatment, they'll have put them on a simulator and they'll make marks, like they'll make little temporary tattoos, or they'll put marks or something on them, so they know right where to line that machine up to hit that tumor with that x-ray. Okay? Now, the thing about that treatment machine, and this is the other thing that we were talking about the other night, the thing about that treatment machine is when I turn it off, there's no more radiation. It's just an x-ray machine. It's just a really super powerful x-ray machine that moves. And you're using the energy of that x-ray to kill that tumor. That's what you're doing. But when I turn the switch off, it's just a big piece of metal sitting in a room. Unlike in the olden days, when I was a little girl, and they still have them, I'm sure now, they used to have what were called cobalt 60 machines. My great-grandmother, my big mama, had a tumor. I don't know what it was. I don't know where it was. I was 5. All I knew is when she had to go to Little Rock to get a treatment, I got to go to the gift shop at the place and get little plastic farm animals to play with. So, but it was a cobalt 60 machine. Now, it was the same premise, except cobalt 60, you know, cobalt is up here on the periodic table. It is around, 27. Okay, and cobalt 60 is an isotope of cobalt that happens to be a gamma emitter. It emits lots of gamma rays, all right? Because it's one of those that's got too much energy in its nucleus and it wants to relax down to decrease that energy. So it's the same basic idea, except somewhere in a room that you could not hang out in and eat your lunch because there was a cobalt 60 machine in there. And that cobalt was radioactive all the time. So what they would do with it is the cobalt sources would be in that machine, and they would literally have a shutter over it blocking the gamma rays. Then they would open that shutter, and it was doing the same thing as an X-ray machine, but it was doing it with gamma rays. And when they were done and they went away, that machine was still radioactive. Okay, so a little different in how they were treating it. Okay, so but we were talking about that, and that's something I think that if you go into that field, if that's going to be your job someday, and I suspect that some of y'all will do that, it doesn't hurt to explain to people what's going on. You know, I mean, I'm glad that I was able to explain to my friends what was going on, but that's y'all's job. You need to be a better patient advocate and tell your patient what's happening to them so that it's not so scary. You know, that's what my student Jeremy does now. He basically walks that patient all the way from start to finish of their treatment, explaining to them from a physics perspective what's going on, and advocates for that patient, because sometimes doctors, and don't y'all do this when you grow up to be doctors, come up with these wacky doodle treatment plans that won't work. Physics says that won't work. You're going to irradiate that patient so much they'll be glowing in the dark. You can't do that. Okay? So that's also his job too, to say, no, you can't do it that way. So when you go on and become either a doctor or maybe you work as a nuclear technician, you are the patient's advocate. You need to explain to them what's going on so they're not so scared. Because it's scary enough having to deal with all that, right? It's scary enough, and it's scary for their family, it's scary for them, there's a lot of uncertainty. So for them to go into this room with this big, huge machine and not have, you know, and not be fully understanding what's going on, it's a very simple explanation. It's very simple to explain to them. Take the 5 minutes and do it. Your patients will like you a lot better for it, I think, at the end of the day. So, but anyway. Well, I've been grading in between classes, and I'm getting caught up. I decided I'd go grab a bite of lunch, so I'm walking over to our cafeteria. Fall foliage here, what's left is still really pretty here on campus. Our cafeteria is actually remarkably good. They have quite a variety compared to when I was in college. So it's actually a great value for money, because as a faculty member I can eat over there for $6. So it's about the cheapest lunch in town, and it's also probably one of the better ones. So it's actually quite a good deal. Plus it's nice to get up from my desk and walk for a little bit, because sitting at my desk all day I get stiff-legged, I guess. It's not good for you. So anyway, so I'm just walking over to the caf, passing our football field there. We have purple and gray AstroTurf. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but my building, which is there, is actually on the north side. It's the one of the northernmost campus buildings. So the cafeteria is sort of in the center of campus, which makes sense. It's kind of in the center of the dormitories and stuff. Everything. We have a really beautiful campus. Lots of landscaping crews do a really nice job here. It looks beautiful. So this university was originally I guess it started out with state schools, the agricultural schools, and the normal schools. I don't know what normal actually meant. But then we were Arkansas State Teachers College,
which is as opposed to Arkansas Tech, which was the agricultural college where I went to school. So we were Arkansas State Teachers College, and now we're the University of Central Arkansas. So we are the Bears. So here is Buddha Bear, which the students rubbed for luck on their finals, which is why he's all worn down. Anyway, so I'm headed to lunch. That's a little tour group of students looking at coming to school here. Aren't they cute? We have what's called Bear Facts Days. So I guess they're here for that and doing a campus tour. So yeah. Anyway, I really like working at this school. I think we've got a lot to offer. And I don't just say that because I work here. I'm not saying that because I'm saying that because I really believe it, which is why I work here. I wouldn't have taken this job if I didn't believe that. So anyway, so yeah, headed to the cafeteria.
Now the farmer, the guy that owns it,
Well, I'm at the feed store. I've picked up the antibiotics. Trains going by across there. I got my feed that I needed, and I got Miss Marianne some antibiotics, and I got some suet for my bird feeders. So yeah, so now I'm gonna head by and pick up a few little groceries, I think, if it doesn't look like it's too super busy at the grocery store, and I'm gonna head on to the house. Thankfully the store wasn't very busy and I was able to get the things that I needed, including a good old staple snack, veggie straws. Anyway, I'm headed on to the house. Okay, well, I'm home and I'm going around doing my feeding and my watering. Put some lysine in the barn kitty's water dish again, because little Miss Friendly Kitty, come on kitty, it's okay. Well, she's not so friendly since she doesn't feel good. Is still a little sneezy, so I put some lysine in their water. And a couple of people have asked me about that. My vet actually the vet where I adopted Simon from told me to do that because it helps boost their immune system, and it's a really inexpensive I guess it's a supplement technically that you can buy in the grocery store and in any store where they have vitamins and minerals. And it's a good way to, if you have cats that are prone to those respiratories. It's a form of herpes virus, so they always have it their whole lives, but sometimes it flares up when their immune system gets a little suppressed. So it's a really inexpensive way to treat, because a big bottle will last you a long time, and it's less than $10. Oh goodness. Dogs are excited about something over there. They know it's almost their supper time. Right now I'm carrying water over to the rabbits because frankly I didn't feel like draining the hose again tonight. So I'm gonna water the rabbits and then I'll be done with this part. But I had a special request from Maddie and Missy, so we're gonna go visit with the horses in Pumpkin a minute. So as soon as I get the rabbits watered, we'll do that. Okay, well, I'm home and I'm going around doing my feeding and my watering. Put some lysine in the barn kitty's water dish again, because little Miss Friendly Kitty, come on kitty, it's okay. Well, she's not so friendly since she doesn't feel good. Is still a little sneezy, so I put some lysine in their water. And a couple of people have asked me about that. My vet actually the vet where I adopted Simon from told me to do that because it helps boost their immune system, And it's a really inexpensive, I guess it's a supplement technically that you can buy in the grocery store and in any store where they have vitamins and minerals. And it's a good way to, if you have cats that are prone to those respiratories, it's a form of herpes virus, so they always have it their whole lives, but sometimes it flares up when their immune system gets a little suppressed. So it's a really inexpensive way to treat, because a big bottle will last you a long time, and it's less than $10. Oh goodness. Dogs are excited about something over there. They know it's almost their supper time. Right now I'm carrying water over to the rabbits because frankly I didn't feel like draining the hose again tonight. So I'm gonna water the rabbits and then I'll be done with this part. But I had a special request from Maddie and Missy. So we're gonna go visit with the horses and Pumpkin a minute. So as soon as I get the rabbits watered, we'll be done. Okay, you guys ready to eat? Yeah. Yeah. Very exciting. Gotta get a new gate here. This one's broken. It's gotten so old, it's gotten rusty. Yeah, and fix our fence this winter so it'll look nice. Okay. Alright. Hey guys. Trying to open this gate one-handed is not so easy. There we go. Back up. Back up, back up. I know, the gate looks terrible. We'll get a new one this winter when we fix the fence. Okay. I'm gonna turn this off while I put out the... Hi guys, this is Biscuits and Charlie, and then that's Joe Donkey walking away. Biscuits and Joe Donkey both came from the same place. Charlie came from a friend of mine who the farm she was leasing got sold out from under her, and she couldn't find a place to go with Charlie. Of course, you know Trixie, and here's Chips, my sweet, sweet one-eyed boy. And then this is Angel. This is Sterling, Sky, Bo, and Trixie's mama. And then, of course, here's Pumpkin. Now, for those of you who don't know Pumpkin's story, Pumpkin came to me through my vet, but she actually came from a girl who is, or a woman, I shouldn't call her a girl, a woman who is friends with my good friend that helps me on my place, but didn't make the connection until my vet was trying to find a home for Pumpkin. The woman had saved her from a very bad situation where she was being roped and drugged and generally mistreated. And she had her at her place, but just simply couldn't keep her. So my vet is also her vet and said, well, I know a good place for her, and contacted me, and I said, of course. And, you know, I've had her for probably 3 or 4 years now, and we're just now getting to the point where she doesn't run away when I get too close. And she'll let me pet her freely on the head and a little bit on the neck. You know, and that's just, I'm letting her decide when she wants to be friendly. I'm not pushing the issue because she's got such trust issues with human beings. You can see there she's also kind of a little bit protective of her food. Of course, it wouldn't hurt her to do without a couple of meals. She's a little portly. Oh, don't be cranky. She likes to stay with the horses. She is not a donkey, thank you very much. She is a mule. She says she does not associate with donkeys. She associates with the horses. So, so Pumpkin. Oh, don't be ill. Oh, don't be such a crab. She is actually a dun mule. If you see, the tips of her ears are dark, and then she has the dark dorsal stripe, and she has the shoulder shadows. And then when she sheds off in the spring and summer, she actually has the tiger stripes on her legs. And those are all done factor or primitive factor markings. Oh, and coming up behind me here, we have Penny and Sally. You probably remember Sally from this summer where she had the sore foot. It's still growing out where it was damaged, and I'm having to keep a trim on it. But she is getting around fine now and doing well. And her baby, Dime, there is 3 years old now. Or 2.5. She's 2.5. And they all came through a friend of mine who was needing to rehome some of her donkeys off their rental property, and I was glad to give them a home. They're very sweet girls, although Pumpkin is like, nope, that's my food. Oh, me. And then out here we have the mini minis. Banjo is the little black and white guy walking toward me there. I actually got him from my dressage coach. He is the second youngest, I would say. And then Sylvester, you saw the other day, the little gray and white, or actually he's Grula, is his coloring and white. And then Leaf is Palomino and white. And I believe Leaf is expecting a baby. Of course, here we have Snickers, the little gray donkey. I had Snickers and his mama, and his mommy was very old, and she finally passed away. Then over here, we've got Hershey, who came to me from the lady that's sort of my rabbit mentor. He is the one that's going to be gelded on the 17th, and there was some questions the other night about gelding. He is going to be under anesthesia for that process. He will not be awake, and it's a very non-invasive procedure. It's just the same as if you took a male dog to have them neutered. It's a very non-invasive procedure, and he will be in minimal pain, and the recovery time is very fast. So there's no need to be concerned about that. Charlie is the little sorrel there. He and Leaf came to me together. He is a very sweet pony. And actually he belonged to a friend of mine, and she rescued Leaf from a very horrible situation where she was kept caged up essentially in a dog kennel in the junkyard. And then over here is the little Miss mare who came to me from the founder situation. You can see her funny looking front feet there that I have to keep trimmed. Also need to trim her back feet. Her feet grow much faster as a result of the founder. So that's the minis and the mini donkeys. And of course we have Pumpkin over here, who is quite content now that nobody is close to her. She and Trixie have formed quite the little pair bond here, so they've become quite good buddies. So Trixie will go up and eat in her food, and Pumpkin may not like it, but she won't protest too much. And Trixie, it's funny, Trixie will be 3 years old in June, and all of her siblings have gloriously beautiful, full, long tails. And she's got the true blue Appaloosa tail. She's got that little bitty short tail there that's signature Appaloosa. Okay, so anyway, so there you go, Missy. There's your Pumpkin moment for tonight. She's being a cranky butt because she's that way about her food, but there she is, and you're not being very ladylike, Pumpkin. One of the barn kitties is playing with a turkey feather. One thing about this time of year, even though it's cold and dark and the days are getting shorter, we know that spring is coming, and one good reminder of that is the seed catalogs are starting to come in. So I can't wait to look through these and make my wish list for my garden for next year. Didn't do so hot this year. We'll try again next year. That's the beautiful thing about gardening. You're an eternal optimist if you garden. So always excited to get my seed catalogs in for the coming year, and that's something bright and cheerful to get us through the dark winter nights. I've got my phone kind of precariously balanced in my corridor here, so I'm going to talk fast. I got some fun mail today from my friend Carol. She sent me a beautiful Christmas card. I love the sweet little snowman and the little bunnies and foxes and woodland creatures. Did y'all ever save Christmas cards and cut them out to make Christmas ornaments? I still save them and do that sometimes, and this will be perfect on my woodland Christmas tree for next year. So I'm going to save it. But she sent me this in the card. She sent me this really beautiful progress keeper that she made as part of the stitch marker swap. And she sent it as a thank you to me for doing that. Thank you, Carol. That was a sweet surprise in my mailbox today. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this right away on my Midwinter Moon Mystery Knit-Along when I cast it on, or on my socks that I'm going to cast on. So thank you. I love the card too. It's always fun to get mail. That's kind of why I did the swap. I hope everybody enjoyed their swaps. So, okay. We're going to go inside now, finally, for the Mary had requested to see how Luna was doing, the little kitten that I took on this past summer that had fallen out of the semi-truck at the garage. Here's Luna. Luna's all grown up. Luna is laying on my clean towels that I have neglected to fold and put away. And on the dog blankets. I washed those on a hot water wash all together. Luna is a boy. They had said Luna was a girl. I didn't look at first. I looked the other day, and Luna is very clearly a boy. But that doesn't make Luna any less beautiful or any less lovable in my eyes. But I love them all. Luna is very sweet, and it still loves Baxter dearly. And Baxter still loves Luna dearly. And Luna can be a boy's name too. Right? Yes. So Luna is all grown up, Miss Mary. Luna is all grown up. Okay, so I'm in the house for the evening, I hope. I am settled down here with my various projects. Right now, I'm going to finish up this block. I'm almost done. I think I'm on row 36 out of 50. So you can see I'm almost done with this block. I like to work on this one on the table because I've got so many yarns attached. Now I'm just down to 3. I'm down to the gray, the blue, and the black. But it just made it easier when I had 6 attached to it to keep them organized here on the table. I had showed you my minis from the first 2 days. So this is my mini from day number 3 from Laura's swap with me. I don't know what one this is. She'll have to tell me, but I love that blue color. Is that not beautiful? That blue is just amazing. So, yeah, I'm online with my knitting people. I'm going to work on my block here for a little while and hopefully get it done fairly quickly, and then I'm going to go back to my project Peace Cowl. I printed out the pattern because it's kind of involved and I want to be able to mark stuff off as I go. So I printed that out today at work, and I also, as you saw, printed out the anglerfish. So I haven't gotten very far on it. I'm on the second round of the first of the large geese section, so that's as far as I've gotten, but it's 324 stitches around, so I think I'm doing okay. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to work on for this evening, I think, for most of the rest of the evening. I've got my little Christmas critters cup here with some water in it, and I'm going to work on that. I guess I'm going to sign off for today. I'm just going to sit with my knitting group and work on my crochet and my knitting projects for the rest of the evening and have some supper here in a little while. I'm not hungry just yet. I just got inside. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed my day number 3 of my Vlogmas, and I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. So until I see y'all again, be good to each other, take care of each other, and peace out, y'all. Bye.